So welcome to the end of the 2048 season. In this video we are going to be looking at my new tactic. It took the whole season to evolve it into a position where I'm really happy and do think it is working very nicely. We're going to look at how our Europa League group stage has gone after getting knocked out Champions League qualifying. After getting to the knockouts of the Champions League a couple of years in a row, this really was a kick in the teeth. But if we can have a good run in Europe, it almost makes up for going out of the Champions League. So we'll quickly start by looking at the intake which has happened, and this is our best player, and this will make you understand why we're not talking about the intake anymore. Now, one thing that has become a formality within this series is the fact that we are going to become league champions no matter what tactic I put out, because our side is very dominant, and most of the series at this point is us trying to do something nice or special or accomplish something great within the European campaign. But it's very nice to see this finally happen. AB are now the most decorated team in the league's history, having just lifted their 25th title. So our 25th title since becoming manager means we are now the most successful club in league history, and that is something I'm proud of. We've finally gone over that 100 player mark again in terms of top European top league play development. We had 106 players playing across the continent who came through our academy or trained with us between them glory age of 6 to 21, is it, or 18? I don't know. Either way, we had 106 and Inter at 81. Losers. So since that summer break, we have won every single game in the league, and as the tactic has developed, we are looking very nice. Only conceding a few goals, conceding one here against NSI, conceding one against Vikingur Gert, and then on the last day against TB, who actually took the lead from the penalty spot before we did come back to control the game. Now, in terms of the cup, we won that, so we did win the domestic treble. A 2-0 victory over Vikingur Gert, with Franson, who has come into the first team in the second half of the season, and Mishan on the score sheet from the penalty spot, who is very much a backup rotation player now. So the European journey started with a 4-1 victory at home against Trabzonspor. We played them a few times in qualifying for the Champions League recently and taking them on in the group stage. I was confident, and it did come to show. Franson getting on the score sheet, Philippe with 2 and 16 getting the 4th. Now, we did then head over to the Stadio Olimpico and lost the game 2-0 to Lazio. We never turned up. We did have a couple of players who were very short of fitness, and it did definitely show. We looked weak. We did look weak. Now, coming up against Olympiacos, we then battered them. Our players were all 100%. We looked very solid. Our backline of Solfjed, Mark Quadson, and in this game, Kraniski. We just looked very solid. 4-0 victory. Van Vakas against his Greek native club. Anderson, Midskogen and Franson making it 4 for AB. And that was followed up with our third win in 4 against Espanyol. 16 in the 88th minute, getting us the winner. 4 wins in 5 now, as Franson gets 2, as we beat Galatasaray to currently sit in 5th place, won 4, lost 1, scored 11, conceded 3, 12 points, as we come up today against Hertha in a live com. I'm bringing you a live com. I mean, I'm just living on the edge. But we look very solid. Our tactic going into this then, this is what we're now playing. So we have Mungsgaard in goal, Solfjed as a normal defender, and Mark Quadson as a normal defender, with Green as a wide centre-back. Now, him playing as a wide centre-back means playing Temte Hansen, or in the past, obviously, Shemeland, who's currently injured, unfortunately, for today's game, as a half-back. He drops in and makes it a 3. And Green comes over on his left-hand side very nicely, and Philippe keeps covering on the right. So we end up doubling up and offering options in all these different positions, and it really is working well. Philippe in centre mid has just looked fantastic this season. Kelstrup at left back it's almost like he's our weak link this season. He's not played the best. 6.75 average in the Europa League, 6.6 in the Champions League, 6.6 in the Super Cup, 7.04 with only 4 assists from wing back in the league. does mean I have signed a new left wing back coming in the winter window. We have already spent over £100 million. I have over £100 million worth of players coming into the club in the winter window, and it's only 3 players. 3 players. I've spent big going into next season in positions we needed. So honestly, I think them players alone will be enough to take us quite far. Now, hopefully you agree. They are a class above anything on the screen here, and that says a lot. But I like the tactic. I've not had to touch anything down left hand side, so we still have positive mentality, shorter passing. We play out defence. We're working into the box and wider width. We dispute to the centre back still. We counter and counter press. We have a low defensive line to stop the balls over the top. We mid block. We press more often when they do enter that block, and we get stuck in. So the changes mainly is the fact having the wide centre back and the half back dropping in on that side, and the other two is just normal central defenders. Just makes us look very, very solid. So yeah, we've won the domestic treble. We have over 100 million coming in the winter window. We've won 4 out of the 5 games so far in the Europa League, and today we are playing Hertha Berlin, who are, shall we see how they're doing in their league? They are 14th at the minute. Won 3, drew 5, lost 7. So I wouldn't say they're in the best form. So this is our squad going into this game. Opposition-wise, what does my assistant think? He's going to ask us to tackle harder on the striker and just trigger press there. I would like us to trigger press on that side as well. So we're going to do that. Everything else I think will stay the same. These both should be fit to play. Philippe can play through his injury, I know that. What was this injury? This was a bruised ankle. He can play through that. We do have options on the bench. We've got Nylander and Tejada as options as rotation at right back. But I think we're going to go with this. Franson, as I say, is coming in the second half of the season. He scored 4 and 5 in the Europa League, 6 and 6 in the league, and obviously 18 for the B team this season. But he's developed nicely, and he's definitely a rotation option going into next season as one of our strikers. But we're going to go with Munksgaard in goal, Solfjord, Mark Watson and Green, Killstrup, Hansen, Van Vakas, Felipe, Arneson, Franson and 16. Arneson, aged 29, turns 30 before next season. In terms of a debut season, he's just been an absolute cultured player, as the media would describe him. A cultured attacking midfielder. So let's get into this, shall we? Let's see if we can get a victory on Livecom here, which would cement our place in the top 8. It's important to use full use of home advantage. I want a good, strong defensive display. I have faith in you, and strikers-wise, I have faith in them to make the difference as well. So let's see what we can do here, shall we? Okay, Green has it. He's going to go forward to Hansen. He goes forward to Arnson, to Franson, goes all the way back to Mark Watson, to Felipe, to Solfjeld, to Van Vakas. Down the right-hand side, can he put a ball in? He does put a ball in. Back post, 16 with the header. But it does go over. But a good opportunity. I'm just going to encourage 20 minutes in. We have dropped down to 8th place at the minute with this 0-0. They've had 3 shots. We've only had 1. We have dominated possession though. So if we can just start to create a few chances here. Solfjeld comes out to Van Vakas. He's just... This is why we need this type of player on the other flank, because he has been insane this season getting forward, putting balls in. Sometimes the striker heads it down to the other striker, but he's been dominating. But on the other flank, we've just not had that, and that's where I hope we can add that player in the winter window, who next season can make both our flanks just scary to watch. It's an own goal. It's an own goal by Green. Andre Green with an own goal there makes it AB 0, Hertha 1. We don't need to see a replay of an own goal. We will just demand more. Just give him a kick up the backside, because we've not created another shot. 2 shots now. Right, 16 brings it down. 16 down the left-hand flank. He goes across to Arneson. That's a penalty. That is a penalty. Arneson got there first. The Hertha player from behind takes him out. We do get a chance now to make it 1-1. They are checking the penalty, but I can't see it being overruled. Yeah, penalty awarded. It is going to be Van Vakas on the penalty spot. I've not seen him take a penalty. I'm quite confused why he's stepping up, so he better tuck it away here. He does tuck it away. Van Vakas makes it AB 1, Hertha 1. Come on. This is my dishwasher goes in overdrive. Come on, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so 1-1 at half time. I'm going to say we just need to be better. We honestly just need to be better. One thing to mention is Midtskogen's contract is actually up. His contract run out. I've tried to offer him a new contract, but he's demanding an important player position. And unfortunately, going in next season being 33/34, he's not that player anymore. He is a squad player for us. So I am hoping he will see the light and stop demanding for so much. Okay, we have took off Philippe, and Michan is going to come on in centre mid. Michan being in his early 30s as well. Very good mentally. Can do that centre mid role very nicely. And I do feel if Philippe isn't having the greatest first half, Michan coming in can offer something. Right, Van Vakas now with the throw-in. He goes to Franson. Back to Van Vakas. Ball across. 16 with the header. Assist from Pontus Van Vakas. Goal by 16. Can't even remember what 16's real name was. We named him 16 a few years ago. It's just stuck. But just a good cross in. 16 with the header. Just fantastic play. We go 2-1 up. And it's an injury from Kielstrip. Okay, I think what we will do is Tejada can play on that left wing back quite well in the games I've needed him there. So he will come on. Another reason why I'm I've agreed to sign a new left wing back is Kielstrip picking up the odd injury. I think he is suited more as a backup. He doesn't demand being a first team player as well. 16 with the corner in. What a camera angle this is, by the way. It gets cleared away, comes back. Okay, come on. 16 with another opportunity from the corner. Front post, someone with it. Come on, ball in. Green almost gets to it, but he doesn't. Comes out to Michan. Goes back to 16. Awful first touch. That's awful. In fact, you know what? Just for that first touch, I'm going to take off 16 and bring on Godfrey. Now, Godfrey only a 2-star, but I'm sorry, but he has the greatest attributes ever to play as a pressing forward. So I ignore the star rating when it comes to the players like Godfrey, 16, Midskogen as well wasn't getting a high star rating as a pressing forward. They all are good pressing forwards. 5 minutes to go now. We are going to go to the wing-back defensive tactic, which I haven't adjusted. That should have been adjusted a little bit there. Drop back to the cautious mentality. We're just going to shoe things up for the last couple of minutes. We have a couple of substitutions available as well. So we are going to bring on Midskogen. Now, might call me sentimental, but the reason behind that is the fact that that could be his last few minutes on the pitch for AB. I'm hoping when the new year hits, he will accept a squad player contract. But if he doesn't, we've got no more substitutions available. If he doesn't, Midskogen could be leaving after this game after about 15 years at the club. But I just can't give him an important player status when he doesn't deserve it. But that's a win. AB 2, Hertha Berlin 1. We've won 5 out of 6 in the Europa League. You can see here we are in 4th place. 3 points off Blackburn and Mulder, who are in the top 2. We are now 2 points clear of 9th and 10th. So it's still very tight. Still very tight. We still could fall out of the top 8 and have to go through a knockout qualifying round. But that's another victory. And that is all of the fixtures for the season finished. So if we go into the squad, you can see our top goal scorer for the 2048 season, who is still at the club, is Midskogen with 17. Backs up my thoughts. We have new players coming in. like I said, I've spent 100 million on 3 players. I will tell you now, 2 of them are strikers. 2 of them are strikers and a left back. That's all I've signed. And I have a feeling maybe we'll sign 1 or 2 more, but not many. Not for the first team. As you know, I like to add depth to the B teams, etc. But to the first team, it's going to be quite similar. 16 with 12. Franslender with 11. Michan with 10, double figures again. And Arneson with 8. In terms of assists, Pontis managed to get 11 assists from left wing back. Arneson with 11. 16 managed to get 10. I mean, 16 is just a great player. 23 years old now. 3.6 million we paid for him. He suits that press and forward role very nicely, and definitely is a player we want to keep around. Tejada with 9 assists, by the way. 20 years old. He's still a very talented player. If we can just train him up on this left wing back, we're going to train him on for the whole of the winter, because he, as another rotation option, mentally is fantastically insane. He's a good player. But our squad is decent. There's been a lot of players come up from the youth teams, like this Alexander Beck has played. He's played 5 league games for us this season as an option at left back. Obviously signed on a free transfer from Bromby. There is a big chance we cash in on him over the winter just because he cost us nothing and we have a lot of options in them positions. But again, it's shown that I am signing players for the first team, signing players for the youth teams, but also signing players who specifically have come in mainly to play for the B team with the idea that they cost us little or nothing and we're going to make money on them. But when you look at the squad, like Michael Meng, 30 years old now, another year left on his contract, is a fringe player and is a player who we do use when we need. Soares came up, obviously, from our B team after signing him in 2047. Just a very talented backup player. Gongora is still in and around the club. He has been transfer listed because we have been trying to cash in on him, but been with us since 2045. So this is the end of his 4th year at the club. And yeah, he's still just kind of sitting around here. Doesn't get many game times for the first team. Michan, aged 32. He turns 33 before the start of next season. His contract is up at the end of next year. He does want to leave, but I don't think I'm going to stand in his way. Whilst it's sad to see these players leave after what? 2036, so it's going to be 13 years when he leaves. But at the same time, he deserves to go and play football somewhere. He might gain his bloody Faroe Islands nationalship when he leaves. Nylander obviously has been with us since 2043. Holy smokes, 1.1 million. He's now a national team player, 7 caps. Really like him. We've looked at some of these. Torsby obviously signed in 2045. Been in and around the club now for a few years. Went on loan to TB for a couple of years as well, but he must be closing in on his citizenship, is he? Yeah, another year, and he's actually able to be a Faroe Islands player. Hopefully. We know there seems to be a bug there in terms of getting the citizenship. Henriksen is now a national team player, 3 caps for the Faroe Islands. This year he gained his citizenship, signed for us in 2042, so it took him 6 years, even though Danish players get it within 2. So 4 years waiting for the paperwork there. But I'm just really pleased with how our squad is going. Now, looking at the national team, we've actually had a bit of success this year. So, looking at our games for the season, we started with back-to-back friendlies. A defeat to Cyprus, 3-1, before a 2-0 victory of Pettersson and Højgaard on the score sheet over Liechtenstein. Then we ended the friendly run with a 2-0 defeat at Bose Larsen Park to Sweden, before we played in the UEFA Nations League C against Latvia, Kosovo and Israel. We lost to Latvia 4-1 in the first game, and I was blown away. That's who we should have been beating. We then went to Kosovo and got a 0-0 draw, so I was a bit more happy, but this 4-1 defeat still hurt. We then lost 3-1 to Israel, and at this point you think, okay, we're probably going to finish bottom of the group here. But we then beat Latvia away from home with Per Thomassen on the score sheet, before a 2-0 victory with John Nolser getting 2 against Israel, then a 3-2 victory over Kosovo, Rigsetter, Christensen and Højgaard saw us finishing second place in the Nations League. Second place, ahead of Latvia and Kosovo. And this has seen us rise again up on the rankings up to 135th. After a drop down to 140th, we're back up there, 135th. And I'm very, very pleased. We're still using this tactic. We are looking solid. Obviously, like that, Henriksen has been out injured. He is coming back in now, you can see there. So we have got some players to come in. There's like this Lervag is back in. Henriksen comes in there. Maybe Milstan can come in alongside Henriksen. But we have a very good side. Marius Hansen is with us. I'm actually going to send him out on loan next year to maybe Kappa. Because he deserves to be getting football and he's just not getting it for us. So I'm going to send him out on loan because he needs to start playing games so he can develop more. Because he could actually be a great player for the national team. And he's getting stunted being in our B team at the minute, to be honest with you. He is playing for the B team, but not much. Only 3 games all season. So it's a bit concerning. So I do think I'm just going to send him out on loan somewhere next year. Somewhere. And we're going to do that quite a bit with our B team going in next season. We do have a few players who just need to go out and get some football. Our B team's quite big. Potential-wise, we've got some players with high potential. Cadet, Carlos Eduardo, who we signed last year. Very talented central defender, Brazilian. Hernandez we actually selling. Hansen, we've got this Skoldermoose who we signed for 4 million last season. Has not even been close to the first team yet, so we need to consider maybe letting him go out on loan or actually just selling him. I'm honestly not sure, but maybe if Mark Quadson ends up leaving, he comes in, but his passing ability actually makes me think we'll just let him go. But these are all questions going into next season. But hopefully you're going to enjoy this series as much as me going forward. Hopefully next year we can start by showing you a good run in the Champions League, in the Europa League, sorry. I've been Paul Olsen, Northman. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.